In Meru, Senator Kathure Murungi relayed the news to the House, expressing disappointment over what he called an unsatisfactory justification for her absence. Rebecca Miano, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, had also requested a delay in her appearance, but the Senate Business Committee denied her request and mandated her appearance. However, the absence of both CSs left senators frustrated, sparking criticism over repeated absences that have disrupted proceedings.
Now it has become a trend for the CSs not to appear before this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, if, let's say, for example, the CS for Health, she is supposed to communicate to us 24 hours before. If she has sent the letter today, Honorable Speaker, that means she doesn't care. And this is a trend that has been going on and on and on.
We need to bring a motion of censure against the cabinet secretaries. But, Speaker, maybe that is not enough. Maybe, as Speaker, the starting point would be to have a serious and candid conversation with the appointing authority of the CSs, so we get to know, the Speaker, whether these sessions make sense to government or maybe they don't make sense with the Speaker.
Morning, I'm actually very disappointed that such heavy critical matters that were to be raised by different senators from these questions here are just going to pass by as time goes by, and the clock is slowly ticking, Mr. Speaker. So this shouldn't be a joke like any other, Mr. Speaker. A serious discussion needs to happen around this, because it's now become a norm that cabinet secretaries don't show up, time elapses before you even get a solution to what you raised. You've even lost, if it were patients, you've even lost them before they get redress on their matters.
Especially Machakos County, because when people go to hospital, instead of the SHA putting up the bills, Mr. Speaker, SHA is not in operation and people have paid and they cannot be discharged from hospitals. They keep on calling us for bills, and we keep on making phone calls to NHIF to know what is happening. Mr. Speaker, this is wrong, and CS for Health must appear before this Senate to answer questions.
At the same time, Migori Senator Eddie Oketch and nominated Senator Gloria Oroba had a heated exchange in the Senate over Migori's senators' remarks of alleged abductions within government structures, seemingly pointing a blame finger on the government for conducting unwarranted arrests and detentions. In a quick rejoinder, Senator Oroba asked her colleague to substantiate the claims, failure to which he withdraws his statement. Senate Speaker Amason Kingi had a rough time quelling the tensions in the House as the debate on the abductions and the remedies ensued.
I have listened to Senator Eddie Oketch talking about abductions happening within the structures of government and outside other structures. And Mr. Speaker, you know, there's an allegation there being placed on, I'm not even sure whether he's targeting an individual in government, whether he's, because he has also mentioned the president at one point. Can he substantiate these structures within government where he's saying that are being used for abduction? Perhaps he knows of a unit, a particular unit that he can even just mention, so that even us as senators, we can come out and call out that unit. We would like to know which is this inside government, maybe, and if he cannot substantiate, he must apologize and withdraw.
Senator Gloria is comfortable because any of her family members have never been abducted. But abduction of young people in this country must stop. And they happen within the structure of security in this country, as well as outside the structure of this country. You might make noise as much as you want, but I can assure you that one day your own family member or your own relative will be abducted and you won't be sitting pretty. We must stop the abduction of young people in this country. It must stop.
Whereby, when you don't get the government taking action to debrief those who have been abducted and released, to establish where exactly they were being held, to try and determine who are holding them, then the only conclusion you can draw is that the security forces have failed in their mandate and, for lack of a better word, are complicit in the abductions. And so, Mr. Speaker, sir, the circumstantial evidence that avails itself to an inquisitive eye is that our abductions are being conducted either by the police or with the full knowledge of the police command.
You cannot allow Senator Okia Omtata to get away with what he's saying by saying that the abductions that is happening within the country are either state sanctioned or police sanctioned. And talking about defunding a unit. Mr. Speaker, can the senator of Busia table evidence to show that there is complicity or the police are tolerating the abductions that is happening currently in the country?
United States Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, has announced her resignation through a communique sent to newsrooms on Wednesday. Whitman, who has served in the envoy role since 2022, conveyed her decision in a statement stating that she had submitted her resignation to President Joe Biden. Her announcement comes just days after Donald Trump's victory in the recently held U.S. elections. Furthermore, Whitman expressed gratitude for the opportunity to serve as ambassador and reflected on the significant strides made during her tenure in strengthening U.S.-Kenya relations. Now, the Ministry of Education has identified adults as the main culprits behind this year's exam malpractice. Cabinet Secretary for Education Julius Ogamba revealed that the full report on the exam irregularities will be released after the exams are done and dusted. During the distribution of KCSE exam papers in Kiambu County, Ogamba confirmed suspects are already facing legal action. The CS also asked school administrators to remain in their posts until the distribution of grade 9 textbooks is completed.
We are undertaking this examination under very strict regulations, and any malpractice, any attempts are being handled, and most of them are actually being handled before they occur because of the multi-agency approach that we are using, where we have teams in the ground, and the teams are able to identify certain malpractices before they happen. And because of that, and we are able to arrest those attempts to ensure that the examination that we are going to finalize next week will be the most credible so far. I will be collecting the statistics that I'll share next week when we complete the exercise. So far, there are a number of arrests that have taken place in CIR. There were a number of arrests that took place in Eldoret, and all of them relate to adults. The students are not really part and parcel of that particular syndicate. And I want to inform the Kenyans that once the arrests are done, the investigations are ongoing, and those investigations will be able to reveal the extent of the cartels that are involved in this particular attempts. And once we determine, we'll then be able to proceed with the prosecutions and ensure that whoever is involved faces the full force of the law. With respect to grade 9, we have proceeded with the construction of the required classrooms. We are going on. We have done 3,500 classrooms so far, 200% completion. The second phase that is dealing with 7,500, we are almost at 57% completion across the country. And this last phase, which is 5,000, is also at various stages of construction. So we anticipate and we are looking forward to ensure that by the time we open schools in January, the 16,000 classrooms that were assessed will be in place.
Public Health and Professional Standards Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has dispelled assertions that the ongoing polio vaccination is unsafe to children. The PS says the vaccine being administered in the country has gone through the necessary certifications, including the World Health Organization, and thus should not be worrisome to parents. She has urged parents not to hesitate to take their children for vaccination, noting multiple vaccination boosts immunity of the children. Muthoni has, however, noted that parents should report to the nearest health facility if symptoms associated with the vaccination arise.
And I want to assure you that all vaccines that are offered by the Ministry of Health are tested to be safe, effective, and they are approved by the World Health Organization. This vaccine is being used everywhere else in the world. So it is not just Kenya alone. And all vaccines in the country are tested by the National Quality Control Laboratory, together with Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and have been found to be safe and very effective. However, during vaccination, sometimes you may find rare occurrences that some children might experience some mild side effects, such as fever, vomiting, diarrhea, fatigue, muscle aches, amongst others. And at this juncture, which is very common, sometimes they can become severe, and the parents and caregivers are requested to visit the nearest health facility for a medical review, or for a medical review of the child, and may report by dialing our 271 hash number. So these are common issues that may occur after the child has received vaccination, and it is advisable that the children should be taken to a health facility instead of keeping the child home. And unfortunately, due to low routine immunization rates in some counties and polio outbreaks in neighboring countries, Kenya remains at risk at any given time, and that is why we are continually doing the oral polio vaccination, because every dose means a lot. It adds an extra protection for any child who is below 5 years.
The main suspect in the murder of his wife in Embu County was on Wednesday presented in court and will remain in police custody. The victim was reportedly attacked in front of their young children, aged 5 and 9 years, with the children being the key witnesses in the murder. According to the prosecution, the community is outraged and fears retaliation if the suspect is granted bond. An elder brother of the suspect told the press on Tuesday that after committing the act, the suspect went to see him while carrying a machete, which is believed to be the murder weapon of the crime.
Simply on ground, prayer number 2, the application, to the effect that this court be pleased to order that the respondent be detained at Kiritiri Police Station for 14 days to enable the investigating officer complete investigations into an offense of murder.
The Constitution envisages instances in which bail can be denied, and the further decrees that such denial may only be allowed where there are compelling reasons to do so. In the present case, it has been deposed by the investigating officer, Chief Inspector Janet Akem, in a supporting affidavit sworn on the 12th of November 2024, that the likely witnesses in this matter are close family members of the
Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Musalia Mudavadi has called on world leaders to establish an annual 167 trillion shillings for Africa Climate Fund aimed at supporting developing nations in combating the effects of climate change. Speaking when he represented President William Ruto at the World Leaders Climate Action Summit COP29 conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, Mudavadi emphasized that climate change is a daily reality in Kenya. He also further emphasized the importance of global cooperation to tackle the crisis. Now, the Prime CS called for a new collective quantified goal of not less than $1.3 trillion annually from 2025 to support adaptation efforts, loss and damage damage and the implementation of nationally determined contributions. He also proposed an additional $5.8 trillion by 2030 to ensure a just transition to low carbon economies.
You have the floor.
De la Convention cadre des Nations Unies sur les changements climatiques, Monsieur le Président de la COP 29.
This is not merely a conversation on economic recalibration, but a strategic discourse on unlocking Africa's true wealth and potential in the global economy. As the chair of the African Union Commission of the Heads of State on Climate Change, it has been my honor to lead Africa's collective efforts on climate change through numerous consultations, reflections, and regional summits, including the historic Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi in 2023. We have articulated our unified stance on climate justice, adaptation, and finance. Africa is not merely a stakeholder in global climate action. We are a leader, and it is our responsibility to ensure that our solutions are tailored to our unique realities and abundant resources. As the world was conducting the global stocktake in the leading up to the COP28, Africa had already initiated its own comprehensive stocktake through the inaugural Africa Climate Summit, which resulted in the Nairobi Declaration. This declaration highlighted Africa's position, priorities, ensuring that climate justice remained a central focus in global climate negotiations. Africa's vast wealth of natural capital, from our forests and biodiversity to our clean energy potential, remains underappreciated in traditional economic assessments.
Baringo North Member of Parliament Joseph Makilap has exuded confidence that Deputy President Kithure Kindiki will help the President deliver pledges to Kenyans. Speaking at Kabartonjo, Makilap said all arms of government, including Parliament, is now solidly behind the executive following the removal of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Makilap said Kindiki is hardworking and dedicated, adding that through his efforts as Interior Cabinet Secretary, there is now relative calm in banditry-prone areas of Baringo North.
Huyu Profesa Kindiki ni mchapakazi. Wacha mimi naambia nyinyi watu ya Baringo North. Ile maneno tumepitia hapa. Mungu, Rais na Kindiki alitusaidia kwa hii maneno, ilikuwa hapa insecurity hapa. Mpaka wa sasa bwana Heliro Bishop, mashule yote ambaye mlikuwa mkuje tuombe huko, yote tumefungua 100%, all our schools, because of our hard work of a gentleman called Professor Kindiki. Aganishika mkono kama mbunge wenu, nikiambia tufanye hivi ananiambia twende kazi, nikiambia nisaidie hivi anasema shika enda kazi. Huyo ni mtu mungwana au si mungwana? Huyo ndio atamsaidia rais kuendesha sera ya serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Sisi tukiwa wabunge tutaungana na Kindiki na rais sasa kueleza wa Kenya ni yale tumefanya kwa mwaka mbili.
Deputy Government Spokesperson Mwanaisha Chizuga has urged boda riders at Ngong Division, Kajiado County, to be the Social Health Authority ambassadors and tell the residents how the new health system is beneficial. Speaking at Ngong Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, Chizuga said that the SHA is more beneficial to Kenyans and everyone should register so as to access the improved health care. She also said that most Kenyans who have registered with the authority are continuing to benefit as most of the services they get from health facilities are free of charge.
Katika huduma hii ya SHA, iwapo umejisajili ndugu yangu wa bodaboda, na hatuombi mabaya, kila siku tunaomba Mungu atulinde. Iwapo utapata ajali masaa 24 ya kwanza, unaenda katika hospitali yoyote, ni ya kiserikali, ni ya kijamii, ni ya kibinafsi, unatibiwa bure. Iwapo kama unahitaji operation, hii SHA kama umejisajili inasimamia matibabu haya. Ni faida si faida. Ile 500 mlikuwa mnalipa NHIF, wengi wao walikuwa wanashindwa kulipa. So wana bodaboda, mimi tumekuja kwenu kutafuta ushirikiano. Ya kwamba nyinyi mnabeba wa Kenya wengi, mnatembea nao kwingi. Mwe ambassadors wetu mweze kuelezea kwamba SHA inaweza na inasaidia. Na si kwa Wakenya wa kawaida, hata kati yenu, maana wengi ni machairman hapa, si ndio? Nyinyi ni machairman wa stage mbalimbali. Mkifika katika stage zenu zungumzeni na wanabodaboda wenzenu. Wajisajili kupitia *147#. Manufaa muhimu mawili. Linda mama ambao ni wake zenu na kukinga ajali yenu nyinyi. Mmesikia MC hapa ameondoka akisema yeye kila siku anajaza fomu asubuhi kusaidia watu. Tumepunguzia pressure. Maana mama akishika mimba leo, awali ilikuwa akishika mimba unangojea akijifungua ndio upate usaidizi wa shilingi 5,000. Lakini mama akishika leo, kama ni mkeo, ni dadako, ni mamako, na leo ameshika mimba, kliniki ni bure. Unamsajili leo, kesho anaenda kliniki. Na akijifungua tunasimamia hadi shilingi 10,000 chini ya linda mama. Yeye anajifungua bila operation. Iwapo mkeo, ndugu yangu wa bodaboda, atajifungua na operation, awali ilikuwa inalipwa shilingi 16,000. Hivi chini ya SHA tunalipa hadi shilingi 30,000. Na mtoto akizaliwa, mama na mwana tunamsimamia hadi miaka mingapi? 5. Chanzo kikubwa cha umaskini katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, ndugu zangu, mama zangu, ni nini? Ugonjwa. Kila siku huyu anataka dialysis, huyu anataka kimo, huyu anataka operation. Hii SHA inatoa suluhu ya changamoto hizo. Kwa mfano, iwapo kuna mgonjwa nyumbani ambaye anaugua ugonjwa wa figo, kupitia NHIF ya kitambo ilikuwa serikali inasimamia 9,500. Hivi sasa kupitia SHA, kama umemsajili, tunasimamia hadi shilingi 10,650 kwa session moja. Kama ni mara 2 kwa wiki, tunasimamia hadi shilingi 21,000. Inaaminisha nini? Si dialysis peke yake, anapata chakula na hospitali zingine wanapeana mpaka dawa.
Cabinet Secretary for Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs Ali Hassan Joho has highlighted the importance of providing sea-time experience for seafarers immediately after graduation to equip the graduates with the required practical skills and hands-on exposure to transition efficiently into the maritime workforce. Joho reiterated that sea-time will not only bridge the gap between theory knowledge and real-world work application, but will also enhance the seafarers' safety, competency and easy adaptability in their future jobs. Speaking at the Bandari Maritime Academy in Mombasa, where he presided over the graduation ceremony for 100 youths who received their Standards of Training certification and Watchkeeping for Seafarers program, the CS highlighted that there is a need to develop mechanisms, including internship programs that will equip them with the required skills, especially for international jobs.
We have to prepare them katika kufanya kazi za kimataifa. And therefore we must develop mechanisms, mipango ambayo wakitoka hapa kuna some internship program ambayo itawapatia, or it will create an enabling environment kwamba wako tayari kupewa kazi ya kimataifa. And I want to tell you, mimi niko committed. I am very committed kurudisha hadhi ya ubaharia zaidi ya zamani.
Courses ambazo zamani tulikuwa tunaenda kutafuta nje za maritime, 80% of courses are now available here in Kenya. Na mimi ningependa nishukuru KMA kwa kupeana approval ili sisi tuweze kubaki kwa ile inaitwa whitelist ya IMO. Ni muhimu sana Kenya ikiwa kwa hiyo whitelist kwa sababu ndio inatupatia recognition dunia mzima.
Deputy Chief of Staff in the Executive Office of the President, Performance and Delivery Management, Eliud Owalo, has embarked on a crucial inspection tour of ongoing infrastructure projects in the coastal counties of Mombasa and Lamu. Owalo told media that the objective of the extensive development visit is to gather first-hand information and assess the progress of a number of construction works so far and assess the status of the existing ones. The Deputy Chief of Staff disclosed that the high-level visit will also provide an opportunity for intervention to mitigate the challenges that both contractors and communities affected by the projects are faced with.
To begin with, in terms of attendant benefits, it's going to facilitate easier access from the mainland to the airport. It will also facilitate faster connectivity from the SGR terminus into the town, and it will reduce congestion at the Likoni ferry for those connecting from Mombasa to Kwale, because now you can use the bypass to connect from Mombasa to Kwale, and cumulatively it will reduce the overcrowding of traffic within Mombasa town. I'm happy to report that one of the fundamental milestones that we have realized within the special economic zone so far is to ensure that compensation for those who are displaced is at 90% completion rate. The remaining 10% will be sorted out by KPA in the next 1 week. Yeah, there were certain small challenges which are not insurmountable, so all of those payments should be settled within the next 1 week. We have got tax rebates by way of income tax, corporate tax, and even excise tax. So I want to assure prospective investors that the government will do its best to ensure that we have got a conducive and enabling environment for investors to deploy within this facility. And we are ready and willing, working together with all local leaders to create that necessary ecosystem.
Now, if you're a photographer, this you might want to listen. So the Kenya Tourism Board has today rolled out a photography contest aimed at showcasing various travel destinations across the country with a focus on hidden gems. The contest, dubbed Tembea Kenya, Capture Magical Kenya, will run on social media, with Kenyans encouraged to take photos of various destinations and indicate their location and tag the board on its social media handles on various platforms. According to the KTB, Kenya Tourism Board Chief Executive Officer June Chepkemei, the contest aims to engage the wider public in promoting destinations in their home counties that have gone unnoticed despite their tourism appeal.
Launch our photography contest. Tembea Kenya, Capture Magical Kenya is a photography contest targeted at all Kenyans of all walks of lives, to tell us and show the country and show the world what this magical destination has to offer through the lens. The objective of this contest is to give Kenyans the power to tell their story in their own way, to talk about the unique aspects of our country, the hidden gems, and to promote the investments in tourism across the country. All you need to do is capture what stands out for you wherever you are in this magical destination under Tembea Kenya, Capture Magical Kenya, and post it on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And you stand a chance to win exciting prizes by Kenya Tourism Board. We want to give our young people, the youth, an opportunity to be part of the promotion of this great destination. And you don't just promote, but you get a chance to win. Exciting prizes of up to 2 million shillings are up for grabs.
All right, so interesting contest right there, launched by the Kenya Tourism Board. And you know, it would be lovely to see, you know, Kenya through the lenses of a photographer in just the different places in Kenya that people can actually pinpoint as a tourism site. So that wraps it up for our bulletin tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you're up to speed and up to date with what is making headlines across the country. Have yourself a fantastic night. My name is Cynthia Nanjal.